we are going to battle one of my least favorite things about a conference here within the next hour, 58 minutes. Okay, one of my least favorite things, and I just did it in the last hour if you were with me there, is you go and you sit and you don't actually get to do the thing. Okay, we are battling that here in the next 58 minutes. So I'm going to talk for a little bit and then we're going to do the thing. And then I'm going to talk for a little bit and then we're going to do the thing. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by the things that we're talking about. I don't want you to feel like, and that's not just overwhelming while we're here. I'm talking like at the end of the day today. You're going to hear from all kinds of excellent people throughout the course of this conference. I want you to be able to experience or to see if that's a thing that's going to help you, so that you can actually put some of these things into practice tomorrow, okay? Some of the resources that I have to share might be a little bit bigger picture, might be a little bit more transformational, but there are tons and tons of things that are packed into here that you can literally walk into your classroom tomorrow and start doing with your students. So that's basically the whole genesis of this session. So the idea is not that you are all bad teachers and you stink and now you need this huge rebrand, right? That's not what this is. You are all wonderful teachers. I know that because you're here. You are trying to improve your knowledge base so that you can help students in a more effective way, right? I know that just by your attendance here. So what we're talking about, or the way that I want to frame our conversation is, as we think about our lessons, as we think about the things that we are doing with our students, there's always opportunities for improvement. So what is that like 5-minute window, that 10-minute window within a specific lesson that I can boost or that I can, enhance in some way, that I can refresh, right? I don't want this to be, I think about teachers that I had that then I taught with, and it was the exact same thing. The thing that they taught me in the late 90s, early 2000s was the exact same thing that when we were teaching partners, they're like, oh, I just do this and I do this. I remember that. It stunk then, it still stinks now, right? They needed something like this. They needed that refresh. So I have tons of outstanding tools for you today to enhance with your everyday lessons, okay? All right, so our session expectations, I really want to focus on that third outcome. So like I said, we're not trying to do everything from scratch here. I really just want you to think about remixing the wonderful thing that you're already doing and how you might be able to apply in a lot of different cases, like some design principles to enhance the awesome things that you are up to. So first things first, my name is Matthew Mays. I work at the Stark County Educational Service Center. Along with that, I'm a part of all kinds of other nerd communities. It's one of my favorite things about being here is connecting with people. And I showed this slide not as like, ooh, look at this badge and look at this cool thing, right? This is more an opportunity for you to be able to see like, oh, what is the CAME Hero program? Or what is the certified trainer? Or how do I become those kinds of things, okay? So we talked about this a lot in the last hour, but there's always help online for you. These are a couple of places that I go to for help. So if you're interested in learning more about those, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to help you. I also mentioned this in the previous hour. I feel like it's getting a little cooler, but if I start to nod, if I doze off during our work time, it's that guy's fault. He's 9 months old. If I seem a little tired or sluggish, it's that girl's fault. The one in the orange, not the one in the white. But those two are running me around like crazy these days. So doing the young dad life is pretty wonderful. So so we have a lot of good things to talk about. So here's kind of a roadmap for where we're going in the next hour. The first thing we're going to talk about is K-20 Learn. Anybody heard K-20 Learn yet? So that's wonderful. We're going to explore that. 2, we're going to talk about Canva. You probably, I hope that you have at least heard of Canva before if you're not already a user. I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about some different things that you can do to enhance your Canva work. We're going to talk about debriefing strategies. This is something that I've been working on a lot lately, which I think is really fun, not just to use with students, but also, I know a lot of you probably help or lead PD in your district. So to kind of frame those conversations with adult learners. And then we're going to do like a real quick rapid fire at the end to talk about some quick tools that you can use to refresh the things and the processes that are happening in your classroom. All right, so first thing that we're going to talk about is K-20 Learn. K-20 Learn, think of it in a similar fashion to Info Ohio, right? We use Info Ohio. Well, developed by the University of Oklahoma, their state uses K-20 Learn. Basically, this is kind of like an interactive, collaborative little community where they have all kinds of wonderful tools. The thing that I'm going to highlight specifically, and then we'll kind of branch off of there, they have created these like educational trading cards for teaching strategies, and they're awesome. So literally think of like, the old school like baseball card that, that was really popular before like Pokemon cards, kind of came up and about too. But think of them as like, here's the thing on the front, the picture of that player. And then as I, flip it to the back, I get all the stats. So we're going to look at those here in just a moment. So I wanted to break this down for you, no matter which level you are at as a teacher, whether that's elementary or your primary, your middle school, your high school, your intermediates, whatever, there is something on here on K-20 Learn ready to go for you. So if you would, join me by clicking this link here. It is going to take us to those activities. There we are. So I sent you to instructional strategies. When we actually, go, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer to kind of play and explore. Know that there are all of these other wonderful tabs across the top too. So we are specifically going to talk about instructional strategies, but know that during that work time, you can go and explore and do whatever you want. Okay, here's how these work. So I have a bunch of filters up across the top that are available to me. If I wanted to, I could click this little drop down and start to input some information about my class. So you go ahead and be specific. I'm just going to do like general things up here, just to show the example. So as you are thinking about your lesson, or as you're thinking about that thing tomorrow that you want to remix or that you want to enhance, think about, is this going to be a large group activity, medium group, small group, right? We can start to break down all of those filters as we would like to. The time to complete, this again, wonderful opportunity for you to say, I don't need this like big hour-long thing. I don't want that, but can enhance this like 10-minute window with something awesome, okay? So know that those filters are broken down in that way as well. You also get grade level. What I'll tell you is like float at least like 2 grades above and 2 grades beyond what you may be, because obviously you are the teacher, you're the one that can kind of control and pull all the strings. So open that one up, because I think you'll get more results that will definitely apply to your classroom than just being super specific or narrow. As we think about the placement in the lesson, you can really hone in on that as well. So, figure out where that may apply. You have your intention and purpose, which there's a bunch of those. Most of the time, I kind of leave that filter blank. And then they have their like center tags as well, which again, I pretty much leave that one blank too. But let's say that we put in a bunch of filters, or even if you just wanted to explore, on your own. Here's how these work. So as I look at something like ABC graffiti, I just click on the name of that strategy, and then it takes me to the card specific to that strategy. So this area over here is basically giving you that kind of top level view. This is what ABC graffiti is, and when you click it, it flips that card over to give you a complete breakdown of first do this, then do this, then do this. So you're actually seeing that step by step. This is a wonderful thing that you can have with you as you are executing these strategies with your kids. The really important thing, and the thing that I want to highlight, is actually at the bottom of the card. These are all backed in research. These are all activities that you can feel good about bringing into your classroom because you know that they are home runs, right? Everything that is on this website, straight home runs all day long. You can see over here on the right, these are some of the filters that we were thinking of. These are how they are identified or what filters they may hit. And then what I really love is that they're giving you additional and related resources. So if you like ABC graffiti, you may also like these items as well. So now we're starting to branch off and we're getting all these other excellent tools. For a lot of them, you may also see like tutorial videos that go along with it. If you don't, you could go onto YouTube, you could put this in and then see people actually doing that in practice too. Because I know for a lot of people, myself included, I like to see what it's supposed to look like before I actually go on and try and do it myself. So know that you have those. If you are a collector, or if you don't want to always come back here to this website to find it, you can also choose download PDF. And now think of that like you're building your deck, right? You're collecting the Michael Jordans and the LeBron cards, right? You're collecting all of those awesome ones that you know are great, and then you can store them like in your Google Drive or offline on your computer. So just like I said, one of my absolute favorite things online to look at. But what I will say is in our 5 minutes, you're not going to have time to research all of these. But I do want you to at least click around a little bit at some of the other things that they have, including like these 5E lessons. Same deal, gives you literally everything you need to execute these lessons. It's searchable up at the top, so you can search by a title or a summary, and you're starting to ping some of those. And then there are hidden tabs across the top too. So there are little arrows up here in the top to find even more tabs. This is a tech conference. I understand that. There's a whole tab of like tech tools that they have broken down that you can get little tutorials for too. With that being said, one of the reasons why I love this instructional strategies page is because most of these are offline. That's awesome. Hey, an educational technology person, I'm telling you, do things offline. Please do things offline. As we think about what's occurred over the last few years, we're bringing our kids back into normal. I'll put that in air quotes. It's really important for them to have those conversations in real life, not behind a computer screen, but interacting with other humans. So this is a great way to bring them back and to do those things. So as promised, I am now going to stop talking, and you will have 5 minutes to explore, to maybe try and collect some of those. Find something that you can do before Friday. Okay, so make that your goal. Before Friday, I'm going to find at least one of these things that I'm going to try with my students, or that if maybe you're in a role like mine where I don't have students, I'm going to communicate this to 2 other people or 3 other people, this specific strategy. Okay, 5 minutes, here we go. All right, our 5-minute window has elapsed. Talk to me about some of the stuff that you have seen. What are some small wins that you can bring into your classroom before the end of the week?
Games.
Games like what?
I looked at the Macbeth one. You do have to scroll down and fill out that you're interested in the games. And I shared it with the English teachers in high school.
Very cool. And that's the important piece of this, right? You came, you're learning, and now you're connecting with other people back in your district, which is awesome. Thank you for sharing. Other cool things that you found?
It was one that we found, the claim evidence reasoning, and that's something that we are using in our school. So it just kind of like reinforces that this is something that.
That's that we're doing good things,
And then
right?
here's some other ideas.
Yeah.
I think with 5 them to the site going, hey, look, you guys like this and it worked. Here's some other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. How about one more?
So I saw the emoji reflection,
Mhm.
and I thought that kids pick which emojis they feel fit with the article they read or the lesson they just learned, and then they have to explain how that fits in.
Very cool.
Different emojis.
So one of the things that you could do to enhance that as well is use something like emoji copy. So this is just a little added bonus. Emoji copy is super cool because it's basically like a database of all emoji that has ever been created. And so this is like searchable too. So obviously to scroll down and to see all of them in one place is a little overwhelming. But if you wanted to, you could very easily put some search terms up in here and it will return those items for you. So like if you're looking for a castle, you know, you can select it here and then it's copyable. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm making it one. It's copyable to the point that, you know, now I can put this into docs or I can put this into other items, you know, to help kids kind of interact with them in that sense too. So yes, all excellent, all very wonderful. Okay, so as we continue on, hope that K-20 Learn is something that you will come back to. Hope that you have found at least one, if not a couple different things that you can do. Like I said, if not tomorrow, by Friday, I'm going to do this thing, or I'm going to bring this part into my classroom. Okay. Second, we're going to talk about Canva a little bit. Same deal. I'm going to turn you loose to work on Canva, but I'm going to frame our conversation in a slightly different way. So, how many Canva users are in the room currently? Excellent. So, hopefully all free for education users, right? If you're not a Canva user, know that it is this wonderful design tool to just kind of frame the way that not only you're presenting yourself and presenting your material, but that you can have students do the same for themselves as well. So what I wanted to do in a similar way to K-20 Learn is kind of you know, create these different breakdowns and some things that I thought teachers at that level may be interested in using Canva. So I don't like the way that it's thought of, but like if you're trying to build your brand, right? Like I always think of it as like a vibe. Like what's the vibe that I want to have in my classroom when my kids come in, when they're seeing the things, when I'm sending things home. I want it to be a vibe, right? I want them to get a sense of me, or at least put them in some sort of frame of mind. If you are looking to build those things, this teachers tab is for you. So these are all links to specific galleries or to specific areas in Canva that are searchable. They're all findable, you know, for all Canva users, but I just put those search terms in, kind of found that whole environment for you and pop them here in one place. If you're an elementary teacher, obviously there are you know, some different ones for you. There are some middle school ones and some high school ones. We talked about it before, where like you are ultimately, you know, ones pulling the strings in your classroom. So there's no reason why you can't use some of these posters or graphs or whatever in elementary, or that I've categorized as elementary, over in high school too. So like I said, I just kind of wanted to section them off a little bit to just kind of help frame our conversation. The other thing that I want to talk about a little bit is what Canva calls like their brand kit. Okay, so I'm gonna pop up just like a, let's do a logo. Okay, so for anyone who has not used this previously, there are all kinds of things that you can do to really customize your experience here within Canva. So obviously there are a bunch of different designs. We can pull those in, we can add pages and add a whole bunch of different designs as well. I really like Elements. Elements is this totally like searchable area where you can bring in all kinds of things like pictures and videos to, you know, different GIFs or other things that you may want to bring in. That's really kind of the magic of Canva and why I'm taking the time to talk about Canva and not something like Google Drawing, because I think Google Drawing is limited, or at least there's a lot of extra legwork to create beautiful things. Canva kind of cuts to the chase. We also have our uploads area, we have our text area, but what I want to show you is like I'm just dragging over a simple rectangle. When I click on my color here up at the top, you'll get a sense of some of the brands or brand kits that I have created. So I told you at the beginning, I work for the Stark County Educational Service Center. These are our official colors. Okay, I've identified those because I also use an extension, which I think they've embedded into Google a little bit. But I use this extension called Color Pick Eyedropper. Okay, when you hover over an area in color pick eyedropper, it gives you the specific code for that color. So these are called hex codes. These are numbers and letters, kind of a jumble. And then that's how you would bring those about into Canva to help build your brand kit. So you'll see 00907C means this specific shade of teal. I know that that is our shade of teal because obviously I just selected it here. I know it's part of my brand kit, but I will show you here as well. If I pull over our logo, which is this thing here, this apple, right? This same color of teal is here waiting for me. One of the really nice things that Canva does is it identifies different images within your design or different design things, and it pulls them out for you. So even if you don't have something like color pick eyedropper, you can come over here and see that exact same thing. So it's saying, oh, we've identified that this is a photo, right? They're looking at my logo. This shade of teal is 00907C. So now anytime I want to bring something else into my design, like maybe some different words or some shapes or something else, I know that all of those colors are here and are waiting for me. This is the exact same thing as, this color of maroon here, and all the other great things. So I say this to say that if you hit this edit button over here when you're working with your colors, you can build all kinds of brand kits for yourself. This Friday, our ESC is sponsoring what we call Career Arts Day for high school students to come in and learn about all the different jobs that one could have working with the arts. So I created a brand kit for Career Arts Day. So these are all of those same colors, not really gonna find them anywhere else, but as I'm creating and developing things, I know that these are all of my specific shades. I'm creating that vibe, right? So know that you don't necessarily have to be stuck with whatever's presented down to you in these default colors. And then you also have the ability to select that new color and go anywhere you want. You can also use the search bar up here at the top to type in different things too. So if you wanted to, you could type something like green and it'll give you a whole bunch of different shades of green as a part of it as well. So like I said, just wanted to take a minute to show how easy it is to create those custom colors. We have so many wonderful consultants on our team, and yes, those are our colors, but I know specific shades and specific things about the people that I work with, where if I'm working with this person, if I'm working with Amanda loves teal, that's just her favorite color. So I know that I can bring those different things in a flash, and now I'm creating things for other people, for my teaching partners, for all those different things as well too. So I'm gonna turn you loose for 5 minutes. As you click on any one of these things, I'm gonna click on this mind maps one, it's taking you specifically to the mind maps area, where here in design, you have all of these maps waiting for you. So if you wanted to, you could pull something over like this, and now you can start to create and customize that experience. So everything that you see on Canva, you can impact change upon. So these words I can change up, I can change what they actually say, I can change the way that they look, I can do all those different things. But I get the sense that a lot of you may already know that. So 5 minutes, if you want to select through those different areas, see what is available to you, make sure that you're using that search area, make sure that you are checking if your colors. If you've never built a brand kit before and you'd like to explore that more, now is a good time to do that too. So 5 minutes, we will be back together. Feel free to have those conversations with the other people sitting next to you, and we will come back together very shortly. Okay, our 5-minute time has ended. Tell me something fun that you found. Tell me something fun that you were exploring or that you can put into practice in the very, very near future. Look at all those hands shooting. Yeah, go ahead.
About using the template, modifying the template, creating from scratch, and how to have those conversations with our students when it's appropriate, and how to make it your own, and what's the expectation ahead of time.
Love that. Love that. You say especially in an era where AI is starting to be seen more and more. That is a wonderful conversation.
And I use a template, so
Absolutely.
how do I use it? How do I modify it? How do I make it my own, customize it? brand colors.
And, I mean, we're at a mastery-based school, so I mean, it's really important too that they understand that like, mastery doesn't mean you're taking someone else's and just copy paste, like that doesn't work, so
Yes.
I think that's just, it's such an important conversation.
Yes. So, a little bit about me, you saw my wife in that picture in like those first few slides. She is a legit art director, she's a graphic designer, so when I talk about all the little tiny things that I'm making here in Canva, I tread very lightly, because I know that she has a 4-year degree backing all the unbelievable design tools that she is using, like InDesign and Photoshop and all the unbelievable things that I could never even imagine trying to execute. But for educators, this is what it's well. So this, like I said, it makes us feel like we have more control in the things that we're creating. Like I said, if for nothing else, we are, by enhancing our work, by enhancing the look and the feel of the things that we're doing in our classroom, that's raising the bar, right?
And if we model writing by reading.
Yes.
This is modeling good graphic design.
Yep. So a student gets a blank document or a document that has, you know, a single font on it, and that sets a tone. A student gets something that has been, you know, curated and looks wonderful. That is also setting a tone and setting those high expectations that like, oh, I want to produce something worthy of this, you know, really, really cool item. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, wonderful conversation. I love that you guys are having that one. Okay, this next area is something new that I've been working on. And really, like I said, this is a conversation not just for you as teachers, you know, if you're working with your kids, but also for you as you are considering, you know, things like today. Where you're meeting people, you're having conversations, you're sitting in the seats, you're listening to sessions, you're interacting. And so I kind of packaged them all together. And these are different debriefing strategies that you could bring into your classroom. So I'm gonna jump out here. You'll notice we're going to Canva. I provided 2 links for you. One is just to view it to see if you really want it. And then if you would like it so that you can remix it and use it for yourself, I provided that template link for you as well back on the slide. And basically what that does is it's gonna make a copy for you and put it into your Canva account ready to use. So I'm gonna flip through just a few of these and just kind of give you the lay of the land for how it works. Basically, you know, think about the lessons that you're doing with your students. You know, you come to the end of the lesson, like, now what? So what? Okay. The different slides that are on here are ways that you can frame. The different things that are happening here within these slides are different ways to frame the conversations that your students are having, or that they are thinking about what they have just learned and how they're going to put that into practice in the future, right? That's really the part that we want, that transformational piece. I've learned this thing, now as a result, I'm going to do this. I'm excited to show this to you. You're the first people that have ever seen this, not even the people at work have seen this, but this is excellent for a day like today. So as you're searching through some of these, I want you to think about, like, what's the debrief that I'm gonna do at the end of today's conference, right? And you can even make those partnerships, you know, with the person sitting next to you, or you know, someone else from your district. But what I tried to do was not only like describe what that debrief strategy was, but also like create it for you. So you should notice on just about all of these, there will be some sort of instructional tool or tip. And then there's actually an area to do the thing. So again, I gave you template, knowing that if you're actually going to use this in your classroom, like this one is an example here. So this is action items. Like, you will customize these pictures down at the bottom. You will customize, you know, these things to your own colors or whatnot. You don't even have to use any of the design things, like delete all these little extra tchotchkes that are, you know, out and about. Make this workable for you. So that means enhance the area of those action blocks, do it. You know, once you've made your copy, I really don't care what you do to this, as long as it is something that you will use to impact your student learning. So like I said, there are tons and tons and tons of different debriefing strategies. Lots of really fun ways to So kind of sit and think, rather than just say like, okay, what did we learn? And then, no hands go in the air and you sit up here saying all by myself. Creating these opportunities for kids and for your teacher teams to have these kinds of debriefing conversations, really, really fun. So I'm gonna give you, just in the essence of time, just like another minute or two to kind of sit through those. If this is something that you are interested in, definitely click that template link, and then feel free to do with this as you please.
These are great.
How do you get this into your thing?
It's back on this slide, hit template link.
Oh, template,
Yeah.
got it.
And that's the link we would share out if you want to share it.
Yeah, so I gave you both, just so that way, like I said, you're getting the preview, you can look through it and see like, oh, okay, I would actually use this, or like, no, slide 6 is a good one, no, I like 11, right? You can delete all of the ones that you don't want, keep the ones that you think you will actually do, but yeah, those are ready to roll for you.
There's a lot of ways.
Yes, that's
Yeah, these
that's
are
the other part.
Well, just, we get tired of doing stuff like this.
And it's easy to say, oh, for this lesson, I want to use this one, or this fits well, or pairs well with this, and this one, pairs well with other things too, so. Yeah, really, really cool.
Did you take these from that K-20 site? Or
No.
These are just like a bunch of volunteers.
Yeah, kind of Frankenstein and a whole bunch of different things together.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so with our last few minutes here, I'm gonna try and get you out at like 10:50, so that way you're first in the lunch line. But these are just some really quick and easy things that you could do to bring a very quick refresh into your classroom. First off, I used to have Info Ohio as a much bigger piece of this presentation. When I created that debrief thing, I kind of slid that over to the side, knowing that we already talked about K-20 Learn To and how those are kind of similar, like two sides of the same coin. So Info Ohio has a ton of great tools. I'm an iPartner. I'd be remiss if I didn't, talk about the wonderful things that are there and that you can find on Info Ohio. Same deal as the other slides. There are a bunch of jumping off points here for you, not just for literacy. Okay, so there are all kinds of tools for all kinds of different teachers. If you were looking for individual breakdowns, I put those here on this slide. So K-5, 6, 8, 9, 12, their teach and learn area, as well as the age 3 to 5. Okay, a couple of things that I really, really love that make my job so much easier. The first thing is Microsoft Lens. Microsoft Lens is for your phone. Basically, this is kind of like, remember when, or I'm sure you've had this experience where you have the paper and you need to get the paper to be digital, okay? We take our paper, we walk over to the copy machine, we send it to the copy machine, it sends us an email, we get the PDF thing of it, right? Big pain. Or you take a picture of it and it's kind of okay, but really like it cut off this corner and it's not perfect. Office Lens solves all of that. So you can take any piece of paper, you can take any screen like this one up here, and I'm gonna walk up here so that all of you can kind of see that. Basically what it does is it tries to grab an area, I select it, and then it allows me to change like the points of that item. So like you can't really see it because it's small here, but it's identified the corners of the thing that I want. And when I hit confirm, it brings it up full screen with me, perfect as if it were like the digital file itself. From there, you can save it. You can put it in your Google Drives, you can put it on your computer, you can do with it as you please, send it in an email, whatever. Just kind of cuts to the chase to improve that task. QR Code Monkey is what I use to create the QR for this session. Allows you to create a fully customized QR to do other things. Like I said, we're talking about setting a vibe when we're doing things with Canva. QR Code Monkey allows you to do specialized QRs with specific colors, with images in the middle. So I'll just try and find one here real quick. I don't want to put a QR code in front of the QR code. Let's just say it's this one here. It's going to look ugly when I do it, but that's okay. And then we can remove that background behind it, and then I can customize the design. QR codes don't need to be squares, like squares. They can be all kinds of different things. So let's say I wanted this almost like little quote box looking thing, and I wanted these like breakout pieces, and instead of squares, I want these diamonds. When you hit create, it makes that thing for you. And when you take your QR, your scan of this, it's gonna send you to the place that you want, which in this case is just qrcodemonkey.com, because I didn't put anything else in there. So really easy way, again, create that vibe with your kids, for your materials, whatever they may be, very easy way to communicate that. TinyWow is one of my favorite places online. Please click that link. Please click bookmark when you get to that link. TinyWow has a tool for just about everything. Basically, the people behind TinyWow said, like, I was going to this website to do this, and this website to do this, and this website to do this. Why don't we just have all of those tools in one place? So, completely free to you. There are all kinds of little mini tools for manipulating PDFs, for manipulating images, for creating, writing things, for manipulating video, for manipulating your files. They are all on here. There are a gazillion of them. This is totally free for you. I'm just scrolling down really quickly so that you can see. It knows that I'm using my ad blocker as well. But there are all of these tools ready and available for you. Like I said, all little micro tools that will help you complete all kinds of different tasks. The thing that I really like about TinyWow is that 15 minutes after you do whatever it is that you're doing, they delete your information. So they don't hang on to it. There's no worry about what's happening with your data when you pop it up there, but it is gone when you are done. So I think I say here in the little description, over 120 different little mini tools to get you into completing those tasks more efficiently. If you are a Google Drawing user or a Slides user, I sent you to my Mega Cache. I have 2 different ones. So there's one here for Jamboard, there's one here for drawing. Basically, as I'm out nerding around online, if I find templates or if I find something that I think can be useful for people using Slides or using Drawing or using Jamboard, I just pop them into this cache. So when you click on one of these, it's going to take you to a Google Drive folder that has all of those things in it. So these are all kinds of different concept maps and just ways to think about students, putting their information in. Those are all waiting for you, as well as the Jamboard cache, which has very similar items in there as well. As part of my office, I am adjacent to Spark. I'm sure you've heard of Eric Kurtz before. He has created these documents that he updates monthly, where these are all just specific tools to different content areas. So if you click on the math one, this takes you to that math update, where you are getting a whole slew of tools that are specific to certain months on whatever that content area may be. So really easy way to find some new and effective things. Applied digital skills is an area that has fully baked lessons for you to bring into your classroom on a whole host of topics, all in these different collections. Tells you everything that you need, tells you how long it would take to execute. So think of this in a similar way to K20 Learn, where like you have all of the stuff that you need, now you just need to go and do it with your kids. So that's really wonderful. Before we go, I think this will be our last slide, but if you're not using Keep, start using Keep. It's basically digital Post-it notes. It's wonderful. And then I also kind of wanted to mention, I showed you emoji copying at an earlier part in our session. Remember that like you can make emojis as a part of your name or your naming convention for Google Drive files as well. So I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but I'll zoom in here. You'll notice that like all of my resources for generative AI have that little robot in front of it. That's just an emoji, right? It is first on my list because when you name things in your Google Drive, it goes emoji numeric alpha. Okay, I guess we should throw specials in there too. So like if you have an exclamation point or something at the beginning, it would rise it up too. But those emoji are gonna pop those items up to the top of your windows as well. And for some reason, my pinch zoom is being tricky right now. I should not have done that. I would tell you that much. So know that that's how those are organized. So again, a really fun and easy way to, you know, kind of bring some life into your Google Drive, or know like, oh, when I see the robot, I think AI, I think of my robot overlords taking over everything. So I always say please and thank you when I ask my Google Home to do different things, so that they can, you know, kill me first when they take over. But those are some really wonderful things too. I hope that there's at least one thing, hopefully multiple things that you can pull, like I said, before the end of this week. Use one of those debriefing tools today, right? Make a pact with someone that that you may have traveled with, or that you may have become a friend with here today if you're traveling alone, and put one of those into practice, right? Create those transformational experiences for yourself, and your students will absolutely thank you for it. Okay, you could have been in any of the other rooms with all the other wonderful people here throughout the conference. You chose to walk into this one, and I really, really appreciate you doing that. I hope you have a great rest of your conference, and reach out to me. All my contact information is here if you need me after the fact.
Thank you.
Enjoy lunch.